So traditionally, felt is made with wool or another type of fibers that will felt, animal fur, etc. Felt is made today in essentially the same way that it was thousands of years ago, since before the 6th century BCE, which was before Common Era. And the most effective way to make it is the simplest. So felting wool involves applying pressure and friction to a mat of fibers, working and rubbing them together until the fibers become interlocked and tangled, forming a textile. So there is one example in your colors that looks like this. And that's what's called core wool. You need some help?
No, it's okay.
I don't know if I can.
Oh,
Do I need to steal it out of another bag?
yeah, that's fine.
Yes. Here, and here's
She's
some
got
right
one.
here.
I got one.
Here's one.
I got a lot of them over by me.
Okay, so what are you using this bag for?
Style. Put your extra stuff in.
Extra fibers that you're not using go in here. Okay, because every little bit helps. And can you pick out one of the fibers that is silk?
A silk, you have to pull out the fine silk
Yep.
fabric.
Yep.
Oh,
Do you think-
figured out, I do.
This one. Here's this one.
Yeah.
Do you think one of them is actually lint from the dryer?
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
Okay, and that feels different. It feels like it's sort of thick, but it's gonna fall apart.
Can you use dryer lint?
Yeah,
Sure.
I haven't,
I have
but
plenty.
good. And these are your felting pads for now. Usually, when I'm felting, I use
If you get into felting, these are the best. If you
kind of
really
like
get
this
into it.
size.
Oh,
But I'm gonna pass it around so you can feel it.
where do you find something like this?
From Living Felt or other companies online.
Internet.
Yep. So needle felting involves transforming wool into a myriad of forms and figures using a special barbed needle. Oh, that's what I didn't do. Okay. Everyone needs to take one of these needles, please. These were courtesy of Mary, which is great because I couldn't find mine. And I just ordered a whole bunch.
Yeah, these are really nice.
Uh-huh.
I know. And then I have a
And they're very sharp. Take one, please, and pass it on. Those are the special barb needles. It's hard to see the barb or feel it. Pin felting occurs when the wool fibers are agitated together with that special needle. Needle sizes vary between style and size. I'm not sure what size you're getting. I had 38, they say 38 star, they come in different styles, is pretty robust, but fine enough to complete most needle felting projects. The 4 sides are faster felting. 36 is great for getting started. There's also spiral needles, reverse needles to pull things out, star needles, I don't remember what all, there's a lot of them. Continually jabbing and the roving back and forth will condense and form the fibers into any shape you would like. It's like soft sculpture. It can be one-dimensional or three-dimensional. And you can see we've got some three-dimensional examples there. And these items are all thank you to Mary Dodson, and thank you to Barbie Bell, and thank you to me.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Wet felting is the process of consolidating fibrous materials by applying heat, moisture, and mechanical action. Net felting is the process of using a combination of friction, agitation, and some water to make felt out of wool fibers. The hot water and soaps change the pH of the wool, and I had a picture of them, but I didn't get it made. And so when you have a fiber, it's like this, it has little scales on it. And so what happens is you go into the felt and pull it up, and that's how you get things entangled up in there. Okay. Ah. Imagine. You don't have to imagine, actually. Shake each of these boxes up. Good. And then, shake them. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. And then,
And you can look at it. They just sort of shook around, didn't they?
oh,
Okay. Then
here's the first one. We should
these are opened ones, and I bet as we go along, they're going to interact with each other,
Okay.
which is sort of like the fibers on wool. Those, shake that box and see what happens. Those, I considered those pretty tightly scaled. And then you're going to shake this one, which has looser scales. And I mean, really shake them. This is sort of like what happens with, that's the way. And then look at it. Look, oh. There we go.
Does anybody want any coffee? Yes.
Okay, now, as long as she brought that up, when I signed up for the room, I was told we didn't have to have any food. However, I am staying afterwards and I'm gonna order food. And anybody who would be interested, I'd love it to join me.
Does Jerome get this?
No. Okay, did you look at them?
Yeah.
Okay. And what did you find when you shook the box with the tight scales? They just shook around, right? Okay. And really shake it, Mary. And look. Don't be moving them around. Okay, good. Did everybody hear that? Yes. The ones with the open scales, she said, are starting to connect. And that's what happens with the fibers. Okay. Did everybody get a needle? Yes. Okay. These are thank you to Mary Dodson, very, very much.
Good job, Mary Dodson.
Yeah, came through a pinch. Well, they're starting to connect, but you get the idea, right? Okay.
You have some different ones. This is the case.
Okay, now,
We couldn't find a size on our package. Does it
Yeah.
matter? They're all the same. Kind of.
so this is the core wool. And basically, you just take a very little bit of it. and you lay it down so the fibers are going one way, and then you lay the next layer down so the fibers are going the opposite way. So they're perpendicular to each other. And then you do a third layer going the same way as the first one.
How much
Are
does
we
it?
trying to cover that or just all in the same spot?
Well, this is the size you want it to end up as.
Oh, I kind of ran out.
So Kathy, do we need a wad of that to start? Or are we
What?
using what's here? Do we
No,
need a wad of that to
yeah.
start? Okay, so
Oh,
that's
good.
enough.
Yep.
I kind of ran out.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
So we just,
Yep.
And then, once that's done, you're gonna look in here and pick out colors that you think you'd like. Take a bit of them, because you don't need much. And
Okay, I'll be right back.
you'll be laying them either in a pattern or randomly.
How much of this do we take out? Is that enough or?
Oh, yeah, probably. So this is a random coaster. And Mary and I have played this game that's really fun, especially with the random ones. You turn it around, and then what do you see? It's a different view. And this one is just a very obvious plaid. So, yeah, now just take a little bit out of each one. Try
Open
to
these.
remember where it came from.
Open this up and take the.
Get it out.
Oh. Gee, I don't know.
I would probably take maybe, well, that's,
Well, I generally like yellow. I'll take yellow.
That's right.
okay, here's thin, medium,
there's thin.
and,
There's medium.
Yeah,
I don't know how many.
oh,
Kathy, how
Just
many? Oh,
colors
just
you
take a
like.
little bit out of each.
each one,
What
yeah.
color you like, yeah.
Okay. Get into it.
It is, it is.
The earliest, yeah, it doesn't take much, and you, really, the thin style is really what you want.
Okay.
The earliest evidence found are wall coverings in Turkey as far back as 6500 BCE. This was from the latter part of the Neolithic period, and there was what's called a Neolithic revolution, and that's when they made the wheel and started having settlements and started a little bit of farming and domesticated animals and herd them. Oh, and they saved seeds and reseeded again. Well, they also made permanent round mud brick houses with a single room, and often there was a stone wall surrounding the settlement. Yeah.
How are, will this stuff come off in the styrofoam easily?
Yeah, but what you do when you want to take it off is just real gently
Pull it.
pull it up. Yeah. We're just holding this here as an example.
Oh, you
Needed
just
to
make
be
a
bigger
thing
than
out of
it
it.
Yeah,
was.
just kind of like
So I
that.
took another circle and
Okay.
attached it.
Kind
And
of.
if you look at it, over at the beginning here,
Probably not.
it's pretty felted together. Over here, I got a ways to go. You understand that? Yeah. Okay. I'll
So
pass
it's
that
kind of,
around so you can see that.
Round.
kind of round and kind of the
Yeah,
same thickness,
yeah,
if
well-
that, not big lumps anywhere.
You know,
Oh boy, I don't know.
It's forgiving. Yeah,
That's good. That's what I
it's
need.
very forgiving. Here's some examples. Okay, she was saying here you can feel how tight this is
Oh, yeah.
versus where it's still squishy. And this will, with poking, it'll get
The use of felt
Ti-
predates
tighter.
all other textiles in Turkey.
Okay,
and
so this is done.
Felt
And
camel
this
hair
is-
was found in Al Hayuk, or however it's pronounced, which is in Turkey. And shepherds in Turkey made wool cloaks known as kepenniks. And initially, they had sleeves, but as it
Oh,
became more
God.
popular, they sealed up the sleeves and didn't use sleeves.
Is that heavy, do you think, or not?
It looked pretty heavy to me.
Yeah.
But, you know,
It is.
this. Yeah, this one's heavy. This is here for a couple reasons. One, lots of mistakes. And it is reversible.
Did you do that, Kathy?
Yeah,
In progress, right?
yeah, it's in progress, hopefully.
That's cool. It's good. Some things take
Oh,
time.
so what I did with this that was a wrong thing to do was I used this craft store felt inside the medium because I felt it needed something, but you shouldn't do that. I've got lots of mistakes here.
So, Kathy,
Yes,
is it better to do several thin layers rather than 2 or 3 thick layers?
yes, go for the thin.
Okay.
And if you're gonna be using the needle, what you do is, they say go straight up and down.
Yeah.
But the important thing is whichever way you go in, come out at that same angle.
Oh.
And, what else can I say? Yeah, they're very sharp.
You do that first.
Oh, so they call that technique like wingless birds.
Slam it around, beat it.
Felt work is believed to have originated in Central Asia with the nomadic peoples and has since spread across various cultures and regions. It has appeared in many forms. It has been practiced for centuries, with further evidence of its use dating back to the Bronze Age, which is 3200 to 1200 BCE. At that point, they get more complex. And tools, they deal with tools. And then they also show up in the Iron Age, and that's where they start doing elaborate designs on them. And they're hammered, not cast. And felt has been used in Central Asia for hats, horse blankets, boots, cloaks, and tents. Okay.
What kind of dye do you use to get the colors?
Say what?
What kind of dye do they use to get the colors?
I don't know. I'm sure they're very biologically safe and great. That's facetious. Well, now we're. Okay. Here is some examples of boots, and then these are rings down here. Okay.
Did they get all made in one piece, or do you put smaller pieces together to say make a boot?
I don't know, I would think they would be smaller. But before they're done, they would be felting these together.
Right.
Oh, here it is.
Keep getting needles
So-
black. I don't know if it's from me or what.
Oh, no, I've got the same thing.
But the color,
You know,
the
I've
color will
had-
cover it up.
Okay, on this
Yarn
map,
from And it had bits of hay, the camel hair yarn. And it had bits of hay or straw or something
On this map,
from the animal.
we've already talked about cashmere, which is
Oh, wow.
like at the tip of Mongolia. And I don't think we've mentioned it, but very important part was the crescent. I forget what it's called. Crescent something, where they really developed lots of things. They were on top of that. How's that? And so that went from the Persian Gulf, sort of continuation of that line. Hi, that's okay. There's, see,
Okay.
so Mongolia is kind of interesting. Oh, perhaps felt was discovered by several different people or peoples, showing its importance to many cultures. Examples of felt dated back ancient times in several different parts of the world. Every age and culture seems to have its own myths and legends as to the origin of felt, yet all the stories contain the correct formula for creating the fabric. The stories generally involve a legendary hero or person of great religious importance. The technology of felting evolved with local traditions wherever it was used. So, here's a map. I guess I need to pass it around. Okay, in the Sumerian Empire, I didn't mark that off. Northwest of India. Oh, I know where. Sumeria is somewhere like right here.
Yes.
Okay. And that was not a country, that was many kingdoms. Earliest known civilization. They had cities and irrigation because it was low rain, and they were called the black-headed ones. Okay, and it's south central Mesopotamia. How's everybody doing? Okay, good. Yeah, and if you listen to music, some of the music really gets you going.
It's true. The chanting of the desert.
Okay, okay, in Sumeria, people believed that it was their great warrior, Ur-Naman, who was known for his courage, compassion, and inventiveness. And he was from Lagash, northwest of Kuwait. Oh, there's another one I didn't mark. Well, it must be they were talking about the Mesopotamia, which is over by the Persian Gulf. So more than 30 different examples of complex felt work was discovered in the frozen Pazyryk tombs of Siberia, which was in the Altai Mountains, and it was at the junction basically of Central Asia, Eastern Asia, India, in that area. The Tigris and Euphrates rivers meet there, and the Pazyryk Mountains were well preserved by permafrost and lack of air. There was a huge pictorial wall measuring 5 by 7 yards of some hanging swans stuffed with deer hides. Saddle covers trimmed with leather, fur, and hair were also present. Gold floor coverings and cushions were richly stored and skillfully made, remarkably sophisticated.
And they are now in the Patrick collection of the Hermitage Museum, which
And where's
somewhere.
Vienna? I'm not sure.
St. Petersburg. So this is one of the wall hangings. I think this one is actually a 5x7 one.
Lord.
And yeah, it's incredible. So that's a goddess sitting there holding nice branches. I don't know. And then that's just an example of type of style hat that people wore. Okay, Mongolia lived in a round felt-covered tents known as yurts, which had freestanding, ridged, and domed wooden frame structures on top of their wagon or cart. In the center of the roof is an opening, allowing smoke to exit the yurt from the fires, which were always set in the center down below. So initially the felt covering was white, and then it became a peat color. And finally, it became black. And it became very brittle. So every 5 years, they'd have to make a new cover. And their door was often red. Mongolians made idols for their yurts. And that consisted of a brother of the master, a brother of the mistress, and then a smaller one who was called the keeper of the house. But the purpose of the keeper of the house has been lost to history, but they still do it. Any questions yet? Looks like some of you are
Maybe you're
trying to done. What?
Does this look at all like it's supposed to?
Oh, yeah, there's no supposed to.
Oh, good.
Whatever colors you like.
Exactly like it's supposed to.
Whatever that
Actually,
is.
when you are to the point that, Donna? Is that your- Donna, okay. What you do if you want to take it off is you
That it is.
you pick an edge that looks pretty clean and you sort of
No.
Pull on it.
roll it up, and then you can pull it up, but it's not really.
And Kathy, I've reached my limit on this. I have made it yesterday, and I
Oh,
can't
I
do it.
understand.
So thank you. I am happy to learn how to do this.
Okay, good.
Got it, yeah. So now I'll put it in my
Oh, and I have my apron on, which is actually was my spinning
How often does it
apron,
rain?
because spinning is really dirty. And I found when I was felting, I often put the object on my leg, on my thigh. And I get a lot of pokes into my pants. So that's why I wear my apron.
It's wonderful.
In northern China, around 3000 to 19,000 BC. Actually, in 400 BC, Genghis Khan called the territory of the nomads the land of felt, and many generations resided there, lived in felt. Ancient Chinese warriors had found that felt helped them in battle, as it made light but robust armor, as well as shields. They also used felt for clothing, tunics, socks, and even boats. Let's see. Boats. Yeah, isn't that amazing?
Isn't that how you shrink it, or is that something different? Put it in water.
When you I'll talk about wet felting soon. But just, here are some examples of scarves and vests and stuff through the year. The earliest farmland formed in East Asia was in South Korea. And in the Middle East, Noah was said to have created the largest
felt because he lined the boat with sheep wool, and then the movement of the water and him and everybody else felted it. So by the end, it had them.
Give him something to do.
Okay, around the same time, I think, the Persian legend. Where's Persia? That's Hazard. Well, said that one of the sons of King Solomon, of course, King Solomon was something like 600 years old, and he had kids. One was 300 years old, etc. But so at any rate, one of the sons sheared the sheep and tried to make material out of it, but not with any success. So he was so frustrated, he started crying,
Oh, no.
and then he was stomping up and down on it. And eureka, there was some felt. Okay, maybe felt making had more modest beginnings. Some people believed it was a humble shepherd who discovered the felt quite by accident. It was his job to look after the sheep, making sure they had enough good grass and food and water to grow strong and healthy so they would produce meat. This could mean they had to walk great distances each day to find the best grass. His sandals probably would have been made of some kind of leather with straps on them. By the end of summer, when the grass is getting dry and probably brown, dusty, the dry and dust would work its way under the straps, rubbing against the shepherd's feet, which were sore and blistered. Maybe he tried using some of the precious water from his water skin to wash the dust from his straps. Using the soft, fluffy fur of the sheep to soften his feet, he would end up with fabric in his footwear at the end of the trip. Now, he's not the only one who did that. In Europe, Saint Clement, he was the fourth pope or bishop of Rome. He came from a family Velatry, and did lots of things, but he ended up, so when he went on a pilgrimage, he wore new sandals, did the same thing as the shepherds did, and eased their blisters. But he, at the end of his rule, the Roman emperor wanted him to go back to paganism, and he refused to. So he was highly tortured. He did hard labor in a mine, and then he was tied to an anchor. The anchor is one of the symbols for him, and dragged out to sea.
Oh, dear. What's his name?
Saint Clement. I was told there's another saint that did the same sort of thing, but I could not find it anywhere. That was Saint Feutre. Okay. Albania had early farming in Europe. Jordan was one of the largest prehistoric settlements. Poland, they made tools and necklaces. By the way, Sandy at the library is incredible. Really helped a lot.
The Winona Library?
Yeah. She even stayed there late last night.
Oh.
Well, what am I looking for? I don't know. Necklaces, tools. Yeah. Oh, I know. Okay. Did I pass the rings around? I think I did. So that represents the Scotland. Oh, there's a picture of some man looking at some artifact. Northeast Africa, such as Algeria, when they were attended by Europeans, they were still hunting and gathering, like in the Neolithic stuff. In Northwest Africa, farming was introduced by Europeans in 5500 to 5300 BC. Morocco is known for animal husbandry and raising domestic cereals. Romania, Moldova, and Ukraine all had an enormous settlement between 5300 and 2300 BCE. South America did crop domestication. Now it's in like 4500 BCE. By the 1st century AD, felt making was widely practiced in Western Europe, and felt makers' guilds were established with great pride. Hats and saddles are what they made. Okay. Here's a bunch of hats.
Oh, my kind of thing, yeah.
Scandinavia is known for making flat pieces. In fact, when we were in Norway, our friend said, I was asking her, what can I give guys out of felt or beads? And she brought out a pad that she had been given, and it was probably this thick. And when we went up to the top of a mountain where it was really cold, I put it down on the stone, sat on it, and it was so comfortable. Yeah. England, Holland, and Spain made beaver and rabbit hats, and Hungary started having international gatherings about 1975.
They're felted though, they're made of.
They're felted.
Beaver fur?
Yeah. Australia and New Zealand, the first English settlers came in 1788 and brought with them some sheep. Then in 1838, and they were hunter-gatherers at first, but the Europeans changed that. Merino wool was arrived in 1838, and merino is like really nice wool. Yeah.
Goats or sheep? Merino.
In North America, in 1970s, there was a big push for soft sculpture, macrame, mixed media, and tie-dyeing. So that's when people started doing felting here. It's now possible to make felt with petroleum-based acrylics or acrylonitrile or wood-based rayon and other forms of synthetics. How's everybody doing?
We're doing. We're poking.
Oh, let me know when you think you're done.
Oh, I'm done.
You would be done when you can move your hand over it. It's pretty smooth.
The dryer? The dryer?
There were different techniques, including
Very easy.
rolling, cutting and hooking, using acid dyes, and hard carding. Carding. These are wool carders.
Oh.
And you put a little bit of wool in there. Let's go with pink. And actually, if you want to mix colors together, that's how you do it. So, whoops.
I saw an extra needle hanging around. Thank you. Well, hard carding would mean you do it a lot more than what I did. But, thank you. It starts becoming felt. Approaches such as embedding, applique, embroidery beading, hand and machine stitching, needle punching, and beds of needles were used. In this one, I've got some bags, and the one with the heart is applique.
And you made these?
No.
Oh.
Um,
Wow.
I don't know what it is
People are,
about.
yeah, so talented.
And then
I
as
hand
long
that
as we're
over.
looking at bags,
I got one.
here's some more bags. Just, there's such a range that you can do. Also felted knotting, which gives texture, netting the pieces together. This is netting. And when you're wet felting, you actually wrap this around your piece. And then you can do that, or put it in a stocking and get it to the end. I thought you gave me one with that.
The garlic bag on the left.
Well, at any rate, so then this would hold help hold the shape of your piece. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Okay. Here is a soap, felted soap, that she's in the process of wet felting.
Oh, that's soap in there?
That's soap. You can take a whiff. In fact,
Oh my gosh. Huh.
here are two more
Yes.
wet felted
Oh my gosh.
pieces.
Now you can put this in the shower with you and it'll,
Yep. And kind of, yeah.
okay.
And you don't want it thick. I made mine thick and it took a long time before I got suds. And the suds are pulled in because it sucks it in.
That's okay.
Okay.
Wow.
Using molds and washing machines were tried. And boiling water, ice water, using stiffeners and yarns of uncarded fleece were also tried. And boiling water alternating with ice water is sort of the technique that I use.
Oh, sure, yeah, that's good.
You're supposed to be passing these around. Okay, they made mats and they made
Won't destroy.
tea cozies. Liz?
Sorry.
They made mats and tea cozies.
Oh. Oh my gosh.
Carpet underlays, fancy felt hats, piano keys, pads, and vests. I think I sent one around that had vests.
Yeah, tea cozies, I can see tea cozies for sure.
Yeah, wait till you see the picture. Mobiles, brooches, bath mats, and curtains can round out options as well as jackets.
All the colors.
Mobiles. So this is a mobile in process.
and they'll be hanging from this guy.
Are you both using this or?
And actually, this is, this way.
How thick should it be before we say it's good enough?
Thin is good.
Thin is good.
Yeah, that's what you want to go for. But it needs to be solidly together. This is going to be hanging as a, sort of like a mobile. But we thought it was kind of interesting because if you look at the other side, you've got a pattern there too. So that's why it's not a coaster.
Could we pass it
Yes,
around?
yes, of course. Let's see. Frames I didn't get. Slippers I talked about, I think. No, maybe I didn't. Shrugs, pumps, muffs, belt, straps.
I assume this gets melted too, because if you turn it over, the pattern is on the other side.
Yeah,
I
because
could
it's
stab
easy to
buttons.
post like the flag.
Well, you might get two at one time, I don't know. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna pass around two at one time. Wait, no. Well, yeah, I'll pass around two at one time, and whoever wants to can separate them. So, these are straps that I felted.
Oh.
And it's got a backside too. Then where do they talk about it? I don't know. But this has felted things added to it, and the bag was crocheted and then felted before I worked on it. So there's the front.
Oh, cute.
Here's the back.
When you're doing something that's that shape, you obviously have something like this, but a different shape of it.
Yeah, I have a whole bunch of pads. One of these is even larger than this. Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Well, so you want to see the inside of this, I'm sure.
Oh, wow.
You guys, here's the inside.
Oh my goodness. This is pretty on the inside of the.
Yes.
And it's got some pockets and stuff in there. So I'm going to let you pass this around, these around. And whoever wants to separate them, I'm all for it. Yeah. I think I mentioned mobiles, masks, and lit pieces of felt. So there's lighting in these. They also made dolls. Here's a doll.
Oh, my gosh.
There's a thing called pre-felt, and I'm not sure I'm saying it, going to describe it correctly. It's a piece of slightly felted wool that has just begun to felt. The fibers at the surface of the wool have begun to interlock, but only loosely, and the fibers in the middle have not at all. I don't have an example of that. Frogging is the removal of stitches. It's called this because you rip it.
Oh, I never knew that.
Crafting humor.
Yeah. Then they have these things called needle minders, and I've never seen one, but they're magnetic, and so they hold your needle onto them. Usually the pretty part of the pin goes in the front, and then the other one with magnets sticks to the back of the felt. Don't ask me too much about that one.
Fulling the felt is a process. The piece is not shrunk or thickened. And what can I say about that? It's basically the start, I think, of wet felting. And when wet felting, there are steps to take in preparation. Now, I often will wet felt these things, but not always. I thought I had an example. Okay. I don't think I wet felted it, but there's one. And here's one that's in process. And going along with that is this one. Thank you. When you're wet felting, you use I use boiling water. I put these kind of gloves on, and I find I can handle the water much better. And you start off very gently, but then you agitate as much as you can. Then, in between the waters, you lay it down on something such as bamboo or something. There's some bamboo. And then you roll the rolling pin over it. And that helps with the felting, and you flip it over and do a different direction. Silk felting is the technique of layering felt onto something like cotton, which as you felt it, the fibers get pulled into the material. Open it up too, please.
I'm sorry?
Open it up as well.
Oh my gosh, look at this. All kinds of things.
Okay, if you're going to make pockets in it, you need to have something that is not feltable, such as plastics. And so you put that behind your pocket, and you can felt. One of the things suggested having a felting tray, which really helped to make it a lot neater and less water going everywhere. I mean, normally when I do it, I'm in the kitchen and I got water here. I got lots of towels full of water and stuff. And when I rolled it in this felting tray, I only used one towel the whole time, and that was underneath it.
Huh.
So, but it's not as big as the rolling pin, which is a problem. The rolling pin should fit.
So it
In the
must
tray.
have been fun.
Yeah,
Gotta have been fun.
yeah. I like to try different things.
Yeah?
And let's see. Soap is very important. It should not be dish liquid. It should not
Not be what?
dishwashing soap.
Oh.
It should not be laundry detergent or hand soap. Pure soap flakes or olive oil is the best because they don't have as many suds
Oh.
in there. That's olive oil, olive soap.
Where'd you get this?
I ordered it online. Okay, and they talk in the directions about using spiral and circular motions as you're pouring water onto it. And if you pour it too quickly, you're going to bring up the felt and make holes in it.
Oh.
So you don't want to do that. So you just work it until you can really work it. If the wool, when you're working it, sticks to your hand, that means you need more soap.
Okay, and harding it, you've laid it on a lint-free cloth. I think I use dish towels. And you can bring the edges over to help keep that shape. Another piece you could do is put the felt, wrap it around a rolling pin, I guess with the linen cloth, and then you just roll it back and forth. So that sounds pretty good to me.
Have you tried that? No?
No. And then what's cool though is you have okay. So you have your piece of felt, you've wrapped it around, and then you tie it, good, starting at the halfway point, and do crisscrossing around the tube. And then when it's ready, you take that off and voila. The string should be tied firmly and there will be bulges between the crosses. Keeping an even pressure, continue to roll the pin back and forth. As the strings loosen, unwind the material and carefully lift the fabric. Rinse in hot and cold water. Hot water is what's going to shrink your piece, and there are different ways to figure out what that's going to be. But here's an example. It was way too big for my coaster, and so I wet felted it. Oh, it's too small. I bet if you used a reverse needle.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm making a mess.
Kids for life. So if it's too small, you're not gonna.
In fact, I say, watch carefully because all of a sudden you may shrink the wool more than desired. Felt, you may shrink the wool more than desired. Felted soap, and you've had some examples of that, can last anywhere from 6 months to a year. And depending on how much use gets, and I think it lasts longer than that. So you want to use a pleasant smelling soap. Because, yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna have to go. I appreciate you teaching. I cannot do it.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Because the wool acts as a wicking agent, the lather will be soaked back into the felted soap. Make sure to wring the felted soap between uses and store it away from resting water because that would cause molding. Okay. If felting becomes fuzzy, the inside glue was extremely difficult to get it to this point. And I mean, they were all just sort of puffed up in different places. And so I just kept felting and felting more.
He would have approved.
And it came apart too. But that's okay, I know how to fix it. And the outside wet felted very nicely. So you're supposed to make sure to do solid felting on both sides. And I would start with the wrong side first and not get water all over the place. So this was a birthday present to Mark. His birthday is May 23rd, and the goal is to give it to him this year.
I think she
How is Mark?
He's good. He had cataract surgery yesterday.
I did that. That's
It's going well.
boy, you can see so well. Oh my.
Yeah, that's what the guy said. He doesn't need glasses on his one eye when it's all done. So, and then he's gonna get the other one done. So you always try to make your wool as dense as possible. When you've finished, it should feel solid and not squish between your fingers. If the piece looks warped or full of holes from the needle, you can set up an iron to wool setting in high steam. Flop your piece over and bring the iron down on the back of the wool. Lift up and down a few times, allowing the steam to do its magic.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
When felt becomes fuzzy, oh, okay, it just starts the same. Oh, I know, pilled. You lay it on a flat surface and you shave it.
Oh, I want.
And then you remove the excess fibers and shave those affected areas smooth.
Will that make it thinner eventually?
Say what?
Make it thinner if you're shaving off
Possibly. I don't think you're shaving off that
that
much.
much.
And even if the felt is heavily piled, it can be restored to almost to its original state. Oh, and then we've got the bibliography.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And I've got some pretty neat books over there by Nikki. And I've got some things marked, and I tried to label them, but my writing is difficult still. So, now you know all about felting and its history.
A lot of work, thank
Kathy,
you.
I
Yeah.
saw a cool video with a gal who was making felted hats. And she used a ball, a rubber ball.
Yeah.
You know. But to do the agitation, she used an electric sander without the sandpaper. And she just went, vibrated
Oh,
it
wow.
all over the wool.
And vibrated our arm, too.
Yeah. She said you just have to be careful with the water and the electricity.
It's a good idea. You guys are making good progress. 11:27.
Yeah.
When you don't go in and out in the same angle, if you're me, you know what happens when I don't is I felt, and then I wanted to go that way, so I started trying to bend the needle. You can't do that.
It snaps up.
And
I've broken a lot. Have you?
Oh.
these are all
I
broken
wouldn't think
needles.
so, yeah.
Did you get
Oh, I did, yeah.
Oh dear.
Wow,
That's a lot.
Yes, but that's also over a long time. Oh, I didn't show you my bag. This was gonna be reversible, the center part didn't come out, but it's not really reversible. And the
Oh,
symbols inside mean something like
Kathy, I
love and
just-
family.
I'm in awe of you.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes. Wow.
Think how, this little bit, and then you look at this.
I know.
to your sons?
How much work that took. Wow.
Something that was, it was just kind of awkward.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And this was done in
So I have it
pieces.
down there.
Yeah, I guess you
Yeah.
sewed the bottom on.
The main connection.
Have fun.
And then I went to
different.
you know,
I don't like felt.
and I said,
Don't you feeling of it, no? Like, couldn't work the needles out. Oh, that's pretty.
Well,
you know,
and it's sitting there because I've got to figure out how.
Oh, and wouldn't you know, Mary's got the.
Okay, but I don't think it's going to be falling off.
Oh, and she's got leather on the bottom.
Oh. Good idea.
And look at all these pockets.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Oh, same to you.
And we'll see you next month. Right?
Sounds good. Sounds good. Take
Uh-oh.
care.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice,
Got that
nice
camera.
demonstration. You certainly went to a lot of work.
Yeah, and those felting pieces are made by Barbie. These felting pieces are, many of them are made by Mary and by me too, mixed in there. But
Candy, hold up the cat head.
Oh, isn't that cute? With whiskers.
and what about the whiskers?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the whiskers I found in their cat bed. And the
Making
cat
the
is
cat
black and
cool.
white, and that's his hair.
And that's real cat whiskers?
Yes.
Cat whiskers and real cat hair.
That is extremely adorable. That's,
I haven't done the other cat yet. Buzz.
what color is she? Oh,
Felting is often a process. You just keep going until you think it's done. And people in the group referred to this as the Tingler, which I didn't see that movie. It was a long time ago, and I don't think I want to
the
see it.
thing?
This is called the Tingler.
Tingler.
Yeah. It goes inside the body somehow. Yuck.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Your spine. Right up the tingler would attach to people's spine.
Okay, I don't know this. Oh, I didn't like hearing about that. Barbie worked really hard on making turtles. This large green one looks like a real turtle in Hawaii.
Oh my gosh. These are so cute. Pretty. Mm-hmm. I didn't know Barbie. Oh, oops. Barbie's pretty great. So soft. So soft. It's the kind of thing you would want to just like hold on to, hold it close. Yeah.
I just don't get out anymore.
Mary had this.
I wish I had made it, but I didn't.
And here are some flowers that stand up on their own. No, Barbie did.
Barbie Bell. Barbie's got a lot of, all that stuff off to the right is Barbie.
This is an optical illusion. I think you stare at the black dot and then what happens? You don't see it? I don't remember. If somebody wants to do that, I'm all for it.
Stare at the black dot.
And then you probably look away and see red.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. I think you gotta stare at the black.
Is that Barbie?
Here's a family.
It's mine, but I didn't make it.
Oh,
I wish I had.
She's made things like that with catnip in them.
Oh,
Yeah.
Does she sell these?
Say what?
Does she sell them?
Picking up her
No.
things that didn't sell.
And she
Daughter's
made
cat
this,
would-
what you might think is a glasses case, but no. She also made a ball for this needle.
The needle holder.
So this is not a glasses case. It holds a needle, and she put the ball on the tip. Yeah, it's a great idea. Was it like this or like this? Okay. Would you pass that on to Mary? Thank you.
Yes, it's a bag. Taste.
Here are some planning drawings for what Mary's going to be making. And here are pieces that didn't get used or will be used. That's angel's wings, and that's butterfly. And then I have this piece. which is made out of
I think that's your.
a strange wool. You can see what it's like. And
I don't know.
I wove it using straws going vertically. And what I didn't think about was there's a set amount of yarn that went into this. And I don't think it was very full of wool. So it was supposed to go like that. And now I'm trying to figure out what kind of connection I'll put on it. Oh. And it didn't felt very well.
So Kathy, I have to leave. I'm finished as much as I can be.
Oh, look at that.
But it's a little bigger, so.
Oh, that's good.
It's true.
And I think I prefer that, actually. Not as thick as I had.
Well, thank you for doing this.
Yeah. And here's a pad, you know, put something on your pad.
Oh. There's a toothbrush in one of your purses. One of your compartments.
Yeah.
So pretty
Yeah.
too, isn't it? Yeah, it's very soft. Very soft.
Did
she say what this is gonna be for?
This one?
Right in front of you.
I said, well, your dad was a dentist, that's a good daughter. Yeah. Yeah.
And you've got to look at these adorable puppies.
Oh.
She is in the process of making a dog for her friend that's a certain kind of dog.
Great Pyrenees.
Pyrenees.
Oh.
And she's working really hard on it.
What are they stuffed with, or?
Well, they would have pipe cleaner structure, and then it's just felt all around it. And it looks like that's made out of the core wool. When you use the core wool, you'll often find pieces of grass or whatever in it.
So I just have to say that the easiest one to do was your dryer lint stuff.
What?
The dryer lint stuff is easier to pull apart and get
I didn't try that one.
Oh,
I did
yeah.
polka dots, but I was trying to do it with fibers and there's just too much and it's hard to control.
Yeah. But it looks beautiful.
I don't know what to do
And
with my dryer lint.
you can certainly take this home with you. And I would give you the needles, but they're not mine to give. So if I ever find mine and you want needles, I'll give them to you. Okay, we're done with this. Oh, good. Excellent. Thank you. This is going to be a blue bomb.
Crazy.
Oh, okay.
I have a calendar and I look at it multiple times a day to be sure.
Well, one of our members, Ruth Burris,
Oh, is
is
Ruth?
gonna, yeah, she's one of our members.
She's crazy busy.
I guess I
She's
talked
gonna
longer
be
than I
on
thought I was going to.